All right. Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, the 7th. I have a dental appointment. They got to check the implant thing, so they got to cut my gums open again to check the two and stitch it up and then go to the next process. Hopefully everything turns out right. But what I want to talk about real quick, don't want to take up too much of you guys' time. Oh, I got excused from jury duty. And that's what I want to talk about. Jury duty. You know, for those of you guys, and I'm sure most of you guys have gone to jury duty, have been called to jury duty. I have been lucky to have served on one jury, which is fine, you know. Would love to serve on more. But I went in there and I got excused. And I told, the judge basically that it's not that I want to get out of jury duty. I said, that's not my case. I said, but I could, continue. I said, could I do the jury duty on another day or maybe next week? So I basically told her, I can't be selected right now because I have a VA appointment the next day, which is a very intensive VA appointment. And as you know, to get VA appointments could be months. It took me 4 months to get this appointment. And so, one of the good benefits about people who support the military, they get it, whatever. And so she was like, yeah, she was okay. I'll excuse you, whatever. But it was the mere fact that it wasn't like I was trying to get out of it. And I told her, I said, I just can't do it today, but I could do it, Friday, Monday, whatever. Just put me on another case. And so I got excused. So as I'm walking out, and the people that have to come back for the lawyers to select and do all that, because there's still a good chance you might not be a good selection, because if you're pro-left, you're pro-right, the lawyers might not want you to do that. But I've been watching the case on Gideon's Law. For those of you guys that don't know, there's a great movie on YouTube. You can get it on YouTube, and it was a great movie when it came out in 1980, I believe, starring Henry Fonda. And it's called Gideon's Trumpet. And it's about a man who fought and he had the objective knowledge and right that knew that he needed a lawyer. He didn't feel that his case was correct. He was wrongly convicted because he did not have a lawyer. The law is so vast and so, you can't adequately protect yourself from the state if you're not versed in law. If you're an average person, the average person really can't afford attorneys. That's the small group of the population. So Gideon's Trumpet was about a man in 1962 who challenged that based on his own knowledge of he should have a lawyer. And guys, look it up. It's a great story. And basically he got retried and he was acquitted because he had adequate representation. But the problem is with Gideon's Law is we're going to have to revisit it because those of you guys that know, public defenders do not have enough resources. When you go up against the state has unlimited resources. So your public defender, thousands, hundreds of cases. He doesn't have time to interview witnesses, get forensic evidence, all this other stuff. So, it's very important. So there's a lot of people that are getting really bad public defenders out there that are just overwhelmed with their work. And, for me, it's fascinating. Like I said, I've been thinking about going back to school to get a law degree, just to get it, because it's just fascinating to me. And I'm really good at, I'm starting to lose my memory. But it's really fascinating to me how the law works and how it's interpreted and how you present it. It's a game. People think that the judge is the person that, creates the laws and do it. No. The judge is basically a referee and make sure that the lawyers stay within the parameters of the law as it's understood at that time, because laws change over time, right? And Gideon's case basically said only in, circumstances like capital murder or something like that back in the day where the state had to give you a lawyer, or if you were incompetent, the special circumstances where the state would appropriate you. And he changed all of that. And So when I got excused from jury duty, some people were coming up to me, especially like, my black and Hispanic, brothers and sisters. And they're like, oh my God, you're so lucky. I said, lucky? I looked at the brother and I said, brother, do you realize there are a lot of people that look like Ray Ray and Pookie are getting convicted over BS because they're not being judged by their peers? So what I'm trying to say for you guys out there is this. Trying as much energy as these people were putting in trying to get out of jury duty. I live in California, and let me tell you how the judge was. She was a female judge. And so people were like, well, I'm working, and it'd be a financial hardship, and I can't be at jury duty. The judge said, welcome to California. See you at 1 o'clock. Because there's still a chance that the lawyers might excuse you. But as far as getting out of there and being excused completely, no, she was like, you're coming back. So like 4 or 5 people, I'm working 2 jobs. I'm a student. The judge was like, see you at 1 o'clock. One lady talked about, I'm a single mom. See you at 1 o'clock. My Hispanic brothers and sisters, I don't really understand English very well. How much of English do you understand? About 90%. See you at 1 o'clock. One person was, about 50%. See you at 1 o'clock. Part of your citizenship test is you got to understand English. So I was like, oh my God. I mean, I was getting blown away at the excuses, right? So, I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I won't get an excuse and that's fine. But, I just said, hey, I'm not trying to, to me, it would have been better if they would have said, could I do it at another time? And I'm very sure the judge would have been like, okay, come back next week. Some people like, oh, my employer doesn't pay for jury duty. See you at 1 o'clock. We all live. Basically what she was saying, and she kind of explained it, was you live in California. You are presenting a circumstance that everybody's experiencing here in California. Financial hardship. Everybody's going through it. Come in there saying you're a single mother. There's a lot of single mothers. As a matter of fact, she said, being a single mother, especially if you're on the state, you have free childcare. So there's no excuse why you can't be here. There's no excuse. None. One person was like, well, my mother just died and, see you at 1 o'clock. She was not playing. I think there was only 3 of us that got an excuse. And I was one of the 3. And I was surprised because I was like, well, she was like, I was like, well, do you want me to reschedule? She goes, no, you're excused for the year. I was like, okay, cool. One of the benefits, I guess, of being in the military, and I wasn't bullshitting her. But what I want to tell you guys is this, and I agree with the judge. It's part of your citizenship here in the United States to serve on the jury if you are called. And for people like myself, Black people supposedly are only 14% of the population, yet we are 70% of the prison population. Those numbers don't even jive. So what I'm trying to tell, like I told the brother, because, he was like, I never thought about it like that. What I'm trying to tell the brother is this. This country, you are supposed to be judged by your peers. If we, as Black people, whatever, and because I'm Black, I'm going to speak on the Black thing, okay? As Black people, if we keep getting out of this jury duty stuff and if we don't want to serve, this is one of the reasons why the conviction rates against Black people are so damn high, because we're not showing up. So that's my spill for the day. Yeah, it doesn't pay you a lot of money. Yeah, you might be financial hardship. But think about this. For the week, maybe 2 weeks, that you might serve on jury duty, Just think about the person that is wrongfully convicted. Not only did you take their freedom from them, not you, but, because you weren't there or could have been the deciding factor. Think about if that person was wrongfully incarcerated. Not only did you take their freedom from them, as a taxpayer, you were going to have to pay them for the time that they were wrongly incarcerated. I mean, the energy that I saw in that courtroom of people trying to get out of jury duty. Some of the people looked like they just rolled out of bed. Some of the people, and I don't know, like I said, I'm just speculating. What kind of job do you have? One guy went in there, I'm a business owner. And a lot of there was a couple of Asians in there. They were talking about their business owners. And the judge was like, okay, you're a business owner. See you at 1 o'clock, because the business owner was trying to say that they're so critical in the business that they have to be there. It's not going to make it. And the judge was like, well, if you're a business owner, you can take time off whenever you want. See you at 1 o'clock. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, I've sat on a jury and but the energy that's put in to get out of jury duty. Because you got to think about it like this. There's no guarantee you're going to lose that day. But you still got to go through the lawyers, okay? So let's say I was selected to be there at 1 o'clock, and I had to go deal with the lawyers. And they give you this questionnaire, you fill the questionnaire out. The judge might ask you a few questions, right? And so let's say they ask me. If they asked me a question in regards to the case, even though I don't really know a lot about the case, I would automatically tell the judge this. And this is how I feel about it. I know I can serve, but this is how I feel about it. I believe that under the Gideon law, that it is unfair to the defendant to not, they deserve to be prosecuted, but it's an unfair representation in regards to resources. So this person is already behind the 8 ball, in my opinion, because if they've got a public defender, they are not getting the maximum satisfaction of a good defense. I'm not saying all public defenders are bad, because they're not. They're just all the plea dealing and stuff like that. They want to move the stuff through the cases and stuff. So I believe there's an unequal aspect of justice in regards to this individual is dealing with against the state that has unlimited resources versus a public defender who has limited resources. Now, could that be a case to disqualify me? I don't know. But if I was in the second part of it and they asked me, that's exactly what I would say. I feel that I can sit on the jury. However, I'm biased toward the defendant who has a public defender. That's what I would say. So, in conclusion, you guys, please do your civic duty. To be a citizen of this country, you need to show up for jury duty. There's no guarantee you're going to actually sit on a jury. However, one of the main reasons for the disproportionate number of black men and women in the United States prison system is we are not being judged by our peers. That's it. All right, you guys, be blessed. Have a great day. Talk to you guys mañana. I can use my Spanish correctly now because I'm back in California. All right, you guys, have a good one.